growing up as a kid, I love the bonding time I experienced with my parents. And then when I got married, I made some promises to myself that I'm going to help my children, I'm going to visit. So your story, how do you craft your story? How do you craft your story? Our stories, there are 4 elements to our story. Where you used to be before La Buena Vida project, what you don't like about it, what you found out about this project, and how excited you are about the future. Ladies and gentlemen, by now as a presenter, you should have a well-crafted story. Eric Warren will always say, your story should be in such a way that you can share it in 1 hour, you can share it in 45 minutes, you can share it in 5 minutes, and you can share it in elevator speech. You meet someone on the elevator, you can actually share your story, right? Now, so this is my story. This is where I used to be. I'm a trained nurse, and then growing up as a kid, I love the bonding time I experienced with my parents. And then when I got married, I made some promises to myself that I'm going to help my children, I'm going to give them a better life, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And guess what? When husbands were coming, oh, somebody said no sound. Can you hear me? Wow, can you hear me? If you can hear me, type 1. If you can hear me, type 1. All right, some people are hearing me and some people can't hear me, okay? So maybe it can be from your end. Thank you very much. Now, and then when I got married, I noticed that things was not going the way I wanted it. My kids were not going to the kind of school I wanted, and it was not really favorable. It was in the process. Instead of settling, I got to know about the Own Your Life campaign. Yes, it was Own Your Life then. I got to know about the Own Your Life campaign. I attended the presentation. I borrowed money, and I started. So what is it about my background? I was in a place where growing up, my parents gave me the best they could with the resources available to them. You're resuming school, they are giving you new school bag, new everything, new every that. And then when I got married, I realized that I couldn't do those things for my children. So there is a need there. And I didn't like the fact that I cannot give my children the best that they desire. Then I found out about this opportunity, and I'm excited about the fact that one of the things that kept me going in my business at the early stage of my business was not even my testimony. Like, I didn't get results so fast in the business. In my first 3 months, there was no visible results. It was in the process of rising and falling and doing everything that within a space of completion of my 3rd month, that was actually when I explored the possibility and I was able to build my first results in the business. So what is it about your story? What is it about your story? What is it about your background, where you're coming from, what you didn't like about it? So this is me 6 years ago when I started this business. That's Shalom Plaza. You can see, right? You know, that's me, okay? And then where you are right now and the possibilities you see from the project. So in my slide, I went so far and I did this particular picture with myself and Ambassador Nefo was taken 6 years ago. We went for NYSC. There is no dragging. I did not drag my upline. I dragged him to several places. NYSC camp, we did presentation, finish, no shishi, no sign up. Like there are times when I want to close, I will be calling him and say, Ambassador, I have events in Kefi. Are you coming? He said, oh no, I can't come today. And then I'm saying, okay, so tell me, so just close down. Let me hear those things you need to see again. You need to say again, and you'll be saying it. I'll be taking notes because I was not confident about closing, right? And then, of course, what I found out and how excited I am about the future. This is us. That was January retreat, and this is in Jordan, right? So craft your story, learn to craft your story. I've said this a lot of time. Be a collector of story. Be a collector of stories. Stories come handy. It helps you connect with your audience and it helps them feel like you're like them, right? And everything. So imagine if I'm sharing my presentation and I'm starting from this Jordan picture. Some of them would like to just feel like, who is this one? Where is it coming from? Okay, so you want to show us that you've traveled. But when I'm taking you back to when I started, when I'm taking you back to when I was like looking like nothing, right? And then I'm bringing it up, I'm sharing my story, I'm hitting my pain, and I'm hitting the things this business was able to help me achieve. They can see some similarities between where I used to be and where they are currently. Why do you need to share stories? People like people who are like them. When people like each other, they like each other. It looks as if it's not a complete English, right? But pay attention again. When people are like each other, they like each other. When people are like each other, they like each other. People want to feel that you really understand what they're talking. As in, like, you understand them, that you are listening to them. When people are like each other, they like each other, right? We connect easily with our stories. Rapport is established through stories. And guess what? There is this responsiveness when someone perceives, usually outside of their conscious awareness, that you are like them. Yes, someone who smokes likes smokers. I guess that's what you want to write, like smokers. People like people who are like them, right? When someone perceives that, as in there is some level of rapport, there are responsiveness. And they said, in the presence of rapport, everything is possible. In the presence of rapport, everything is possible. If you have seen someone who knows how to close, it is someone who has understand their unfair advantage. It is someone who has understand how to connect with their audience, and they have learned how to use those abilities to their advantage. So personally, growing up, people will always say, my eyeballs are so big. I don't know, I can't see the big eyeballs right now, but they will say it is so intimidating and everything. So I was hearing it for a very long time in my life. So when I'm talking to someone, I actually talk to that person eyeball to eyeball. And to some people, they see it intimidating. To me, I establish rapport with people with that. So when they're saying, when you're presenting, look at people's forehead, I look at their eyeball. And you're making connections with them. You can sense your audience. You can sense when they are connecting or when they are not connecting. And you can actually find a way to share a different story that will help you establish some level of rapport. Yes. And then personally, another thing I use as an unfair advantage is that I love to smile, right? I love to smile. I think I got that from my mom. You can't see my mom frowning. She's always smiling. Right? So when I'm speaking, I smile a lot. Like if I make 100 sentences, as in, be rest assured that I might have smiled like 95 times. So be yourself, be your unique self. Be your unique self. Don't be acting all bossed up, like trying to be someone you are not when you're closing. Be yourself. It makes the audience to connect with you. It makes them to flow with you. It makes them to like, they're like feeling like, take my money, you have it already. Okay? Yes. So tell a story to help arouse emotions. So there's something you need to be doing if you're not doing that by now. Be a collector of stories and relate it directly to the objections. Ensure that your tonality matches with the state you are eliciting. Use a pitch. When I say a pitch, a voice in the course of relating it to that. I truly get it when you say this. I appreciate the fact that you see me as someone you can connect with to really share your limitations with. However, this is what I found out. I found out that so person used to be in a place where you were right, where you are right now. And they took the mastermind mentorship, and guess what? They had great relief. Working this business under the mastermind mentorship put them in a place where the school fees is no longer a problem for them. They are able to pay their children's school fees. And guess what? They are happy. They are giving their children the quality lifestyle they want. It's much like a great relief. Like you're talking to someone, you're sharing an experience with that person. Your tonality should also go in line with that. Your tonality should always also go in line with that. So when we talk about states, if you want someone to feel excited, your tonality should also be like that. So if I'm coming to you right now and I'm saying, oh, hi, how you doing? I'm actually spreading forth a tonality that will stretch you, will elevate you, and help you come to the level where I am. Okay? Learn to share stories, be a collector of stories, and when you're sharing these stories, ensure your tonality matches with the states you're eliciting. Use a pitch in the course of relating to them. So we have said so many things. Learn to breathe, learn to respond and not to react, right? Be in control of your emotions. If you're in control of your emotions, you won't react. You will not.